Okay, I know what you guys are thinking. TheGamingTrouge, where have you been? That last time I saw you, you got teabagged by someone in Halo 1. What happened to you? Well, funny story, I started a game show. Yeah, that's right. TheGamingTrouge, ya boy, started a game show called Comment the Comment! Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, TheGamingTrouge here, and that's why, ladies and gentlemen, today we are starting off our very first episode of Comment That Comment. Basically, put down a comment, I'll read the comments, and then I'll comment on the comment. Please stay to game show stuff, so why don't we get started? Our first comment comes from Sonic T Hedgehog. Glad my video could help you out, Trouge. Keep up the good work. Now that is a good comment. Positive reinforcement after someone does a project is smiles above glee. Our next comment comes from Shadow is better than Sonic. Sounds like it was a little bit of an ego boost. This game would have been 10 times better, but that blue hedgehog stole my spotlight. Well, I feel like they have a little bit of beef, but lucky for me, I'm a fried chicken fan, so we're going to keep going on.
Nice approach!
Our next comment comes from Pierre G. Hedgehog. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I love your video, but where's Halo 2? You see, that's pretty funny right there. Halo 2 is one of the games that's impossible to just review, because a lot of people have nostalgia over the game. If you criticize one little thing about the game, you're going down the rabbit hole faster than the Sonic Phantom. And oh hey, I know this person. We collabed over on my Twitch page. Luna says, I love the video, but where is Halo 2? Okay, why don't we just go to the phones?
Hello? Okay. I'll get on it. I guess game show's canceled.
So Halo 1, right? It was the first game that we got people start talking about FPSs on consoles with its great multiplayer and a phenomenal campaign that kind of felt like a little bit of a horror movie mixed with sci-fi. It was all different types of amazing. So with Microsoft and Bungie being well known now, where do you go from here? How do you expand the Halo universe? They wanted to make something that felt like a movie when you played it. So they went all out on getting best voice actors. They got a crazy soundtrack. Like going back and listening to the soundtrack, like holy cow, this soundtrack slaps. But of course, you can't be a game studio without going through some problems. Hey boss, so funny story, we had to scrap everything. What day is E3? Like right now. Ah! At E3 2003, Microsoft unveiled Halo 2 to the world. Holy crap, is this an Xbox game? This almost looks like it's a CGI movie rather than a video game. That's what a lot of people said back in the day, and even still today, this trailer looks amazing. And the gameplay demo doesn't look that far off from the actual trailer. However, this is where the crack starts to show off in retrospect, because this was a demo that basically was made specifically for E3, and behind the scenes, it was basically on fire trying to get to the finish line with stuff that haven't worked with before not working, and just basically a bunch of different rewrites for the story. It was a mess to say the least. But these trailers got everybody talking about Halo 2. It was the biggest game of 2004, quite possibly the biggest game ever. I don't even think that this is really a game that can kind of match it. The only game I can kind of think about is Kingdom Hearts 3, and that was in the age of the internet. This was at a time when internet was next to none. They even got heckin' movie theaters promoting this game before big-time flicks. That is just crazy. And do I even dare bring up I Love Bees? It was a crazy story, and there was actually a full documentary on YouTube about it by Rocket Sloth. Please go run it up. It's really well done. So after waiting, we finally got the game on November 14th of 2004 for the original Xbox. And then 10 years later, like Halo 1, Halo 2 got the remaster treatment on Xbox One through the Master Chief Collection. Unfortunately, this is kind of a taboo topic to talk about in the Halo community because a lot of people like this collection and a lot of people hate this collection because of this one video game right here. I'll go more into it near the end of the game, but I did play this game twice to get those sweet remastered graphics, and once when I tried to play the game through emulator because holy frick, you can't be a content creator without something messing up.
Yep, this is my life now. Let's talk about 2004's Game of the Year, Halo 2.
When we last left Chief at Cortana, we crash land on a strange planet known as Halo. We realize that Halo is actually a weapon to destroy anything that deems the Flood food, and decides to go and blow up the entire planet in hopes of stopping the Flood and in turn the Covenant. Well, the Covenant are still up and active, and now the higher-ups known as the Prophets are ridiculing the Elites, also known as the Swan Healy race, because it was their operation to go after Halo and they failed. So basically this one elite, which we don't really know its name of, is about to get the treatment that Firelord Ozai did to Zuko. The brute known as Tartarus, played by heckin' Gantu of all people, loves the fact that the Swan Hero race is finally getting what they deserve. Apparently they had some history back and forth, so he whips off the armor and burns him with this giant heckin' stick, leaving him scarred. That scream always gives me the chills. Meanwhile, above Earth...
Totally fried. And let's not even talk about the power supply. You know how expensive this gear is, son?
My dude, I just got done saving the gosh darn universe. What's your problem? Besides Cranky Pants McGee, everyone's happy that Master Chief saved the day, and they have an award ceremony to honor those that have fallen. Even Captain Keyes. His daughter was actually in his place, and she is actually a very valuable character, as we'll soon see. But we can't celebrate for long because the Covenant has found Earth, and the fleet was 2 times the size of the one that came after Reach. Remember Reach, we'll get there someday. So with no time to waste, Chief gets his gun and makes a move. Despite the Swan Healy being shunned, they still are on the Covenant's team, and you could see them in the 4th stage. That's actually kind of weird, I never really understood that. Master Chief then finds a bomb and decides to pull a Bowser and just drop a heckin' bomb on top of a Covenant ship and then went back on another ship safe and sound.
For a brick, he flew pretty good.
I always look forward to that scene, and what a way to open up the game. It's crazy. Just as crazy as me getting back my own place in the middle of this video. This Covenant operation was actually executed by the prophet known as Regret, one of the prophets from the beginning of the game. And the first city that they're destroying is one New Mombasa in East Africa. After Master Chief gets pranked by the Covenant, they find their way and see a giant heckin' tank, and it's up to Master Chief to use a tank-on-tank action and go and take them out. Eventually, Master Chief gets on the same platform that they got pranked on before and ends the job. But it turns out that the Covenant are going to use slipspace to try to escape from the UNSC, all for the UNSC to try to go after them, basically causing a wormhole and destroying all of New Mombasa. We cut back to the alien that we saw at the beginning of the game, and the prophets basically want him to do the dirty work as sort of a redemption arc for the mistake on Halo. Basically, he's now dubbed the Arbiter. That's his name, and that's kind of what we as the players know him as. With a new set of armor, this Arbiter is now tasked with silencing someone that's basically saying that the prophets are evil and they must be stopped. Now being under the command of Shipmaster Vadam, basically he does not care what happens to the Arbiter. He only cares about his people and serving the prophets. As the Arbiter is about to go face off against the heretic, a familiar eyeball shows up. Yes, 343 Guilty Spark. Turns out that he didn't die in that entire blowing up the Halloween situation. With the heretic's good intentions on trying to explain to him that the prophets will turn against him, the Arbiter doesn't have any of that and proceeds to kill him. Before Sparky was able to explain anything, he gets kidnapped by Tartarus himself, telling him that the Arbiter is late. Meanwhile, Chief and the game find another Halo wing. Turns out that there's a lot of other Halo wings out there, and this is one of the other ones that they didn't explode. So, the Covenant's after this Halo wing, so Chief and the gang go down there and try to find the Prophet of Regret. After fighting him and punching the living daylights out of him, Chief tries to run away as the place starts to explode, only to fall into the water and get kidnapped by something, we don't know what. Back to the Arbiter, he is tasked of teaming up with Tartarus in order to find this thing called the Index, Halo's gate key, like last time. But little did they know that Miranda Keyes is also trying to find the Index as well, with of course a little help from our good friend Johnson, but then the Arbiter and Johnson meet up and...
How you doing?
This flame was always funny to me. Arbiter knocks out Johnson, they have him at gunpoint, and then the crazy twist happens. Tartarus kidnaps Keyes and then goes and betrays the Arbiter, leaving him left for dead. Now the Arbiter and Chief are together and they meet the Grave Mind, the hive mind of all the Flood. Even 343 Guilty Spark and the Prophet of Regret down here, and basically they all come up with a plan to get back at the Prophet of Truth and of course save the day. Well, not so much for the Grave Mind, because the Grave Mind wants to still unleash the Flood among everyone, so it's a temporary truce among everyone. Hi, post-truce here. I just want to say that the two eyeballs are completely different. One of them that was down here is supposed to be Guilty Spark, and the one before that got kidnapped by Tartarus was actually a different Guilty Spark unit, but basically still served the same purpose. Thought I'd clear that up, back to the subway. Master Chief sneaks on High Charity, and the Arbiter goes back to Halo to try to stop Tartarus. Regret retreats and is heading to Earth. The Flood is now taking over High Charity, and Cortana has the idea of doing the similar thing like we did with the Pill of Autumn, but she has to stay back to make sure no remote activations happen. So Chief and Cortana split ways as Chief now makes his way onto a Covenant ship heading straight for Earth. Tartarus is trying to force the Monitor and Miranda to go and start up the wing, but lo and behold, the tag team of the century shows up to stop him. After an exhilarating boss fight, Miranda Keyes stops the wings from going off, but unfortunately, they can still activate other wings. That means all the wings that are still intact can go off and cause mass destruction. And the game ends with Master Chief flying down to Earth.
It isn't one of ours. Take it out.
This is Spartan 117. Can anyone hear me? Over.
Isolate that signal. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Halo 2's campaign. Overall, the campaign itself is a little much, and that's mostly due to its levels. The levels go on for way too heckin' long in this game, but as the story itself, as a continuation of Halo Combat Evolved, it did its job and then some, adding in the whole world of the Covenant. That is super cool. I know that was a point of contention back in 2004, basically kind of pulling the whole, oh, you're going to be playing as this character? Laugh. But honestly, I do really like playing as the Covenant and seeing this side of the story. Gameplay-wise, they don't really change all too much other than you having more of the Covenant weapons, and a lot of them were taught from Halo 1 with the addition of the Energy Sword, which is actually really cool and also freaking broken.
Halo 2 didn't add in too many new features or weapons, but the weapons that they did add was stuff like the Brute Shot, the SMG, and the Battle Rifle, while they kind of also neutered the pistol in this game. Halo 2 also featured dual wielding, basically having two guns, but with the cost of you not being able to throw the grenades, which this is definitely a good feature to have, but some weapon balancing makes it super broken if you know what kind of guns to dual wield, so they definitely fixed it in the next game. But for this game being the first one, it's still super fun, and you still get that 30 seconds of fun that you had with Halo 1. Multiplayer was back and was better than ever with the inclusion of Xbox Live. This was a selling point for many people, as before this, you kind of had to bring your Xbox around to people's houses and then system link through an Ethernet cord. Now you can just play on your couch online, trash talking your friends. It was amazing. Definitely the golden age of online gaming. But System Link didn't die. There was still plenty of times where we System Linked this very game. Actually, come to think of it, before I played Halo 1, Halo 2 was the one I remember system linking the most when we had a guest over with me and my dad and my brother and sister. We had so much fun, and heck, I even got the bit footage of us playing the Halo 2 Anniversaries multiplayer, and it still is super fun when you have the right type of people. Now for me to defend this game. Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo the Master Chief Collection is actually a lot better than a lot of people make it out to be. Of course, you get the amazing graphics and amazing, awesome remix soundtrack, but you missed out on some of the greatest songs of Halo 2 on the base game, which I forgot were even in the base game. This was all because of Mario O'Donnell and 343's lawsuit that was going on at the time, with Mario ended up winning, but unfortunately that meant that they couldn't really work together on the Halo 2 Anniversary soundtrack, even though he very much wants to, and I'm super glad that he didn't get butthurt over 343 Industries, because he still very much loves Halo to this very day. Again, I'll plug his YouTube channel, go follow him. But of course, one of the biggest points of contention with Master Chief Collection is the fact that its online never worked, but despite me being able to get onto Halo 2 servers pretty easily, more so than Halo Combat Evolved. Playing Halo right now in 2023, you're going to get a bunch of tryhards. Like, if I play the game like Fortnite, I have a decent amount of chance in order to win. If I play Halo, I'm immediately dying, only barely scrapping by the ends of my teeth and my team. And I feel like the community feels the same way.
Overall, I do really like the changes that MCC brought to the table when it comes down to Halo 2, as well as the changes to a lot of other games. But every good change that they've done, there's also a hint of bad changes in there, and so basically it's just up to preference at this point. I know making this review in 2023 and not in 2014 when this game first came out is definitely a little bit easier for me to digest and kind of like take in all of MCC's changes and, you know, accept them. But honestly, when it comes down to MCC, I was always a fan from the beginning. So I didn't play online all too much, but I did in fact play a lot of the single player and local multiplayer, which Halo MCC still had offered even back then, and it was actually really good. I personally never found any glitches or anything like that that's game breaking, but noticing the changes as I get older and older, I'm starting to realize that, yeah, definitely MCC wasn't the best at launch, but it was still better than heckin' Infinite was from what I've heard. Jeez, I have to talk about that soon. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad I got back my place from Comment That Comment. Hopefully they don't... Oh my gosh. Hello? What do you mean I owe $3,000?
Special thanks to Cat Chat for sponsoring me on Patreon. If you guys want to support me on Patreon, link is in the description down below.